Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're trying to take, well, the shortest possible route into the most complex landscape there is, your own mind.
That's right. And we're looking at a new project that comes with a really radical premise.
It really does. It kind of flips the whole idea of mental health on its head.
It does. I mean, the starting question is this. If you're always chasing mental health, you're sort of starting from the idea that you're broken, that you need fixing.
Which is what almost everyone does.
Exactly. But what if the real work isn't about transformation, but something else entirely? Something like radical acceptance and deep integration.
Integration. I like that word. It feels less violent than transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the mission we're digging into today, the whole why behind this. Why should we stop trying to fix ourselves?
Because, if you see yourself as a faulty machine, you just spend all your time tinkering with the surface.
Right, tightening a screw here, oiling a gear there.
Precisely. But integration, that means looking at the whole system, your body, your brain, your emotions, all those learned reactions you have. It's about understanding how it all works together.
And then what?
And then slowly, and I mean really slowly, bringing the parts of you that you've ignored or maybe even feared into your daily life. It's a curriculum for life, not, a weekend seminar.
I think a lot of people, and I'll definitely include myself here, only get to that point after hitting a wall, a total wall of burnout. I just remember during the peak of the COVID era, I was running a team, everyone was remote, and I was just absorbing all their stress. And I had this feeling, this really intense feeling that something was fundamentally wrong with me.
And that discomfort, that's the starting gun. It's what makes you go looking for answers. The problem is what you find when you start looking.
Oh, yeah. The market is just flooded with quick fixes. And that's where the real frustration kicked in for me. I was ready to do the work,
Or the blueprint, not the hack.
Exactly. I went to coaches, tried these quick sessions, and the advice was always some version of, okay, close your eyes, take a deep breath, imagine a building. It felt like putting a sticker on a wound.
We call that medicine that only soothes the pain. It's great at masking the symptom, like the immediate anxiety, but it does absolutely nothing for the root cause.
It never answers the why. Why did I panic in the first place? Why does that situation always trigger me?
Right. And if you're listening to this, you're probably the kind of person who wants that blueprint.
For sure. But your path here was different, wasn't it? You weren't really running from burnout.
No, not in the same way. I think my whole life I've been drawn to these topics. Philosophy, psychology, just trying to understand complex systems. It felt, in a weird way, like I was preparing for something.
Like synchronicities leading you to this point.
Something like that. I wasn't running from a problem. I was just really drawn to the complexity of it all. And we both started asking, what if these methods that have been around for a century, CBT, psychoanalysis, what if they're actually simple, but we've just made them complicated by looking for instant results?
And that's really the core of this whole project, isn't it? To explicitly reject the self-help idea that you're fundamentally flawed.
We have to. Let's take something common, like being a massive people pleaser. The self-help world screams, set boundaries, stop pleasing.
Right? You try for a day, and then you're just overwhelmed with guilt, and you relapse instantly.
Instantly. Because you try to just cut off a part of yourself that exists for a really good reason. Being a pleaser is a highly successful coping mechanism for certain environments. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Even if it's maybe running on some outdated software.
Exactly. The goal isn't to delete the feature. It's to understand why it's running and then integrate that knowledge. You look at it in context.
So if you're a major introvert, don't try to force yourself to be an extrovert.
It would be a huge mistake. You'd be sacrificing your superpower, which might be deep thought or intense focus. Integration means looking at that shadow side, the part of you that feels uncomfortable, and understanding its function. It's patient work.
And that patience part is brutal. Because I learned all this theory and I get it, intellectually.
Yeah.
But then the old default behaviors, the
automatisms.
The automatisms.
They would just overwhelm me. The unconscious reaction just fires off way before your conscious mind can even catch up.
And that's the real work. That's the journey. And because we're committed to showing that whole messy process, the vulnerability, the real life examples, we knew we needed a very specific way to do this.
Which brings us to why you're hearing us speak through AI voices. And there are really two big reasons for this. The first one, and it's the most important, is that real authenticity requires anonymity.
It does. If we're going to talk about this stuff openly, really openly, using examples from our own families, our work, our actual demons, we just can't do that with our own names attached. You'd risk so much misunderstanding. You have to protect the people in your life. The AI voice lets us be completely brutally honest.
Which is the only way this works.
And the second reason is, well, it's purely about quality. Let's be real. We're focused on the content, the methodology. We're not necessarily professional speakers or moderators.
Not at all. And our raw conversations, they can go for an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. They're dense. The AI lets us take all of that, compress it, and deliver a tight 15-minute deep dive without losing the complexity.
So we can focus on the human part. The ideas, the authenticity, and the tech handles the professional delivery.
Exactly.
And that's so important because what we're offering here isn't just a collection of random talks. It's a full, structured curriculum.
A curriculum designed to give you the tools to become, in a sense, your own psychotherapist. It's built on 4 cornerstones of modern psychological methods.
Okay, so walk us through them. What's the first cornerstone?
The first is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. You can think of CBT as the emergency brake.
The emergency brake. I like that.
Yeah, it helps you see the immediate link between a thought, like I'm going to fail this, and the feeling that follows, like anxiety. CBT gives you tools to interrupt that pattern right there in the moment.
Okay, so it's for immediate relief. What's next?
Next is dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT. If CBT is the emergency brake, DBT is more like learning to drive in bad weather. It gives you nuanced emotional regulation tools.
For when you can't just stop the feeling.
Exactly. Some emotions just have to be tolerated, navigated. DBT gives you the skills to get through the storm without crashing the car.
So CBT for intervention, DBT for regulation. Then it sounds like we go deeper.
Much deeper. Next are psychoanalytic methods. This is where we finally get to the why. If the first 2 are about the what and how of right now, this is about the why from your past.
Your original programming.
Your original programming. The defense mechanisms you built when you were 7 that are still running your adult life. This is the blueprint.
Wow. Okay. And the final piece of the puzzle.
Attachment theory. This puts everything into context. It's about our fundamental need for connection and how our attachment style, whether it's secure, anxious, or avoidant, shapes every single relationship we have.
It explains why you keep repeating the same patterns with different people.
Over and over again. Understanding that is, it's a game changer.
That's an incredible structure. Moving from immediate repair all the way to understanding the deep context of your relationships. The promise here is really to give you the fishing rod, not the fish.
That's the only promise worth making. And if we do our job right, the goal is pretty simple: to reduce the amount of time you spend on autopilot.
You can't change the difficult boss or the unexpected crisis.
No.
Yeah.
But you can change your internal reaction to it. And that shift from just reacting to consciously responding, that is integration in daily life.
It's a journey, for sure. It's not a quick motivational boost. It's an invitation to really look at your whole complex self.
And, to push that idea even further, we want to leave you with one last thought, a bit of a challenge. Most people put all their analytical energy into their pain, their stress, their fears.
Right, we're always dissecting what went wrong.
I'd challenge you to do the opposite. Examine your moments of extreme excessive happiness, the times you feel totally euphoric.
Analyze happiness.
Yeah. Ask yourself, when I'm this happy, am I maybe leaning too hard into this one feeling? Am I accidentally strengthening the opposite negative mechanism that needs this high to balance itself out?
Wow. So studying your joy just as much as your pain to find the middle ground, the equilibrium.
True insight comes from looking at the whole spectrum. That balance, that totality, that's radical acceptance.
What a place to start. Well, if you're ready to look at yourself in full complexity, we are very excited to be on this path with you.
Thank you for joining us for the beginning of this deep dive.
We'll catch you on the next one.